Hey, happy Thursday.
What is happening, everyone?
Welcome to our Facebook and Instagram live Q&A here on 585 Rent to Own, and I changed it up a little bit. I decided to post on my personal Instagram, so if you are joining from there, say hi. We'll also save this and share it up to YouTube when we get a chance, and so we're going to be chatting today for about a half an hour, all things real estate, rent to own, and any questions that may come up. Feel free to post them below. Hi, Mike. I see a couple people tuning in right now. So if you are watching and you've never tuned in, say hello. And if you are looking for a house, let us know where. We are always interested in where we should be honing in our buying homes. We're always looking all over the Rochester area, but you're addicted to our show. I love it. Thanks so much, Mike. We are addicted to coming here every Thursday live. We love it. You guys, this is number 10. We've been doing this for 10 weeks
in a
straight.
row now. Yep, absolutely.
And we're loving every minute of it. So thank you so much. We changed up our location. We do not have the green wall behind us. We are outside, so anything could happen. We are out front, but it's too beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's way too nice to not be outside today. So we got blue skies. It's looking awesome. Spent the morning talking to some sellers. We are scouring everywhere right now looking for houses for you guys.
Yes.
So looking at one, chat with somebody right now actually about a house out in Canandaigua. So you never know, but if you know anybody who's looking to sell a house, send them on over.
Yes, always looking. We've got people literally messaging us every day. I was on the phone yesterday with a potential future buyer, and she is just looking for the right house. She wants to make a home for her and her kids and to not have to pay rent anymore and to just stay in one spot. And so if you hear of any homes that might be going up soon, give us a shout out, because you are going to be helping out an awesome family that just needs the right place to live. And that's really what we're all about, is helping people.
Right. So we have awesome news.
Oh, yeah.
1 week from today, we're closing on the house in Henrietta, so we're going to have one coming for you soon. It's a ranch. We talked about this already last week, but if you're just tuning in, it's a ranch, Henrietta.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I did my first house 1 mile away from this place 20 years ago.
If you haven't, I'm totally interrupting you. If you haven't had a second, go back to our Facebook page, 585 Rent to Own, and check him out. He did a little live video, and he shared his story of how he started in all of this. And so I was so proud and excited that he shared that, and definitely go back and watch that if it's something you're interested in hearing about. 20 years ago to, when was it?
20 years ago,
March,
I was at a friend's house, and he had this thing, and I did what it said, and I flipped a house. So
crazy.
It's 1 mile from this house. So it's a beautiful ranch. It's going to be awesome for the right family who wants to live out in Henrietta, who's looking for a house that's in a beautiful neighborhood, who doesn't want to have to worry about the Colonial up and down or a Cape Cod. They want everything on one floor. This is for you. So if you're looking, I think it's 1,500 square feet roughly? Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for something that size in that area, get a hold of us now, because once this gets on, it's not going to be long.
This one's going to not last long
right,
at all.
especially in this market.
And just helping him has just been so rewarding as well. We mentioned him before. They're moving down to North Carolina, the whole family, and they're non-for-profit. And so they were just really ecstatic to have people like us who will come in and make everything seamless. And he was even texting today about a little issue, and Joe's like, we've got it. Don't worry. That's what we do. You know, it's our job to make your life stress-free and easy. Let us do that kind of, any...
Well, the thing is, I get a text first thing this morning, do you have a chance for a phone call? And I'm like, oh boy, the garage burned down or something crazy. And he says, no, the garage is actually, the door stuck, something broke. I heard a popping noise, and there's like these tensioner springs in there. It just needs to get replaced. I got the guy already on the job, not there fixing yet, but I'm scheduling an appointment to get that done. So with that being the case, I just told him, don't even worry about it. He wanted to know if he had to pay for it. And I told him that when we first met, we chatted, we were going to make this super easy, and that's what we're doing. So within 26 days of us talking about the deal, we're closing on it.
Yeah, not even a month.
So talk about fast. And he needed it because he was on a time crunch, because he has to start his new position in the new home. I think it's the weekend after we close. So with
July 1st, 2nd?
Within a few days.
Yeah.
So he needed to make sure everything went smooth. So on our end, we've been in constant communication, making sure everything is going according to plan. So looks like smooth sailing. Got to get that garage door fixed. But after that, we're going to start posting some great stuff.
Once we can get over there, we're just waiting for them to be able to move out. Obviously, coronavirus. We've seen everything through Zoom. It looks like beautiful, but we want to get in there and just kind of take a peek and see what we might need to spruce it up, or might be ready to go.
We got to get the house clean. We're gonna get everything really done, really nice. We're gonna get everything cleaned, and get it.
It's not like
ready to show.
A rehab.
No, it's a beautiful house. That's the difference. When you deal with beautiful houses like what we do, a lot of them don't need work. You might just want to, mop, dust, and then that's it. A lot of them are beautiful homes and beautiful neighborhoods that don't need much. But we also buy those ugly houses too, where beautiful neighborhood, there's the one, where he's got that one family member. Well, it's that one house on the block that looks ugly. Or he's got at least one of them. But either way, we make it beautiful.
There's ugly houses on every block of everything.
There's always one that's not.
I don't really. And I'm thinking about. I don't think there's one on our block. I think there might be one or two.
I don't know. Everybody's a freak around here. Either way,
we have like lawn mowing competitions. It seems. I don't know about you guys. Like
lawnmower drag races.
I didn't grow up like on a cul-de-sac or like with. I mean, I grew up kind of in the country-ish. I was in Victor, so this whole like, oh well, they just cut their grass, so now I gotta go cut my grass thing. So I'm waiting for our neighbor to come out and cut his grass because he just cut it yesterday.
That's what they do around here.
It's crazy, but anyway, enough about that. Let's get into Survey Says.
Ding.
I was trying to find a clip and it just wasn't happening, but I decided to just on a whim throw up there yesterday a question. We asked, as a future homeowner, what is the most important feature that you look for when buying a house? And you guys, there was like 40 comments, even more, are coming in today. And so that was so fun to go through them and see what you guys are looking for, because everybody wants something different. And so obviously we're trying to please the masses here. And ultimately it's one person's going to own that one house, but it's good to get an idea for what you guys want. So that was so much fun. So thank you if you participated in that. And the top number one was certainly...
It was shocking.
Location, right?
Usually
Obviously,
the one.
Real estate is all about location. And yes, Trish, you were definitely one that commented about that. And so with that, location, it's different for everybody. And that's the exciting thing, is some people want that quiet in the country, kind of like by themselves, private area, and then others really want kind of that neighborly suburban feel. Others might want urban. So when we ask that, definitely we're going to get a little bit more specific.
Right, because we want to know, obviously now location's the number one most important thing.
Yeah.
What location do you want? What location are you looking for? That's going to be important. Some are looking for that farmhouse in the country.
Yep.
We could work with that. Like that wind. We also work with a lot of houses that are either in the city or close to that too. So
yeah.
Once again, location is most important when you're dealing with real estate.
And then I would say second was I'm like thrown off by like things happening.
Being outside.
Ooh, okay. Kitchen, that was a big one. So for me too, I know I am all about the kitchen because I live in it, right? Like mamas and maybe dads or just people in general. We're in our kitchens a lot, cooking, cleaning, whatever. So what about the kitchens? Is it open concept? Is that still a thing for everybody? Or is it just having space? Do you want an eat-in kitchen? Kind of, it was interesting to see all of that. And then yard. He was surprised that garage wasn't brought up.
Nobody said a garage.
Yeah, sometimes we get that. Like, we need a garage, but...
I love having a garage. But some people don't care. You didn't have one when we first met your house.
No, I didn't have... There used to be one in the city, and then a tree grew, I guess, into the roots or whatever, so they had to knock it down. So I lived without a garage. I was okay. It was awful because I had to shovel my snow, but whatever.
That was a deal breaker for me if a house didn't have a garage. You got stuff.
Well, you also had a nice fancy car once upon a time. And we had kids. So, bathrooms, everybody wants more than one, and they want a bigger bathroom, which I can totally understand. And I don't think we need to go into detail about that. But safe areas, schools, and taxes kind of were the next really big thing. So as far as taxes go, is there any way we can help people out saving money on taxes?
So, yeah, I mean, if you were in the military, you do get a veterans discount.
Oh.
If there are certain discounts, depending on age or different disabilities even.
Okay.
However, New York State, they get you in taxes. It just is what it is. It is really, really high. But when you have streetlights and you have plows and you have the roads constantly getting redone, maybe not as fast as we want, but they still do get redone and maintained, that all costs money. And that's where our tax dollars.
That's definitely...
Well, yeah, and if you get your kids into a good school, you're going to pay school taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And those school taxes are going to be a little higher than maybe, other districts. So It's kind of one of those things what you get where you pay for it, but there's a lot of great bargains. You don't have to be in Pittsford. I love Pittsford, but you don't have to be there to get into a great school district and pay a ton for taxes. There's a lot of homes and a lot of other towns too that you could get a house where you're not getting outrageous numbers.
Yeah, it depends. If taxes are really going to make or break it and that's in your budget, then you just want to be aware of that. But if location in that area and the family and the school, like that's what you want, then you've got to just work your budget towards that. So things are flexible there, and it was just good to know like what you guys were looking for. Basements came up because everybody wants a dry basement, and springs around here kind of wreak havoc on a lot of basements. And we've had issues in multiple houses where he is like the king of just run the gutter this way, and it seems to solve a huge problem of water just dumping in.
So yeah, if you have drainage issues and wet basements, I've dealt with this literally my whole life. It's like one of my arch nemesis. The first thing I want to look at a house, I always want to look at the basement.
True story.
Good house, ugly house, whatever, because it could tell you so many stories just by looking around.
Yeah.
And really what it has to do is before you could even get to the basement, you could already predict where it's going to happen. Maybe gutters aren't hooked up right. Mm-hmm. Maybe the way the lawn is draining away the water, or sloped away, the water's coming back into the house instead of away from the house. Maybe you need to get extenders. Maybe the gutters aren't hooked up right. But keeping all that water next to the foundation, usually what's going to cause a lot of that water problem. So
even if you live in a house right now and you're getting water in your basement, it might simply just be getting one of those like extenders, yeah. You just run it the correct way.
Or get
text Joe. He's gonna know which way to.
Or get some dirt. Get some dirt. Build that side up and get that water running away from the house. That's really what it is. And we've had,
literally Canandaigua, West Irondequoit.
The first time I walk into the house,
Henrietta.
I was in a situation in Canandaigua. I bought the house. It was one of those things where I just saw pictures of it. I was sick at the time, so I couldn't make it out there to look at the house. But I bought it anyways.
Yeah.
So almost sight unseen. The first time, and I knew it needed work, so it wasn't a surprise. So I made sure I wore my boots. But the first time I get there was probably 3-4 inches of water on the ground. Sub pump not working.
You offered to take one of the kids, and then you were like, "Oh wait, this might not be a good idea."
It was a good thing I left the kids home that day because it was a mess.
A little bit of a mess there.
But after a few months of rehab, now it's beautiful. But you got to look at the whole picture. But if you need help with that, just get that water away from the house.
So keeping the basements dry because storage was a really big thing people are looking for. Obviously, in older homes, it is a little tricky. They had smaller closets, so any extra room for built-ins, like in Conrad, I was really happy with Jason. He threw in a built-in right by the bathroom there because there was no closet.
It was awesome.
So that was really cool.
Well, not only that too, we're fortunate. We live in that part of the country where we actually have basements. I've got friends in Florida and other parts of the country. There is no basement. Yep, you're on a slab. So if you have a house down south, that furnace, sometimes that's in your attic of the house. Your hot water tank could be in other places too. Mm-hmm. But that's, you gotta.
But you want dry storage and a place, so if not that, then maybe even a pantry. Laundry, and obviously a lot of homes, it has to go into the basement, and as long as it's dry, that's fine. Bedrooms, and then we had some very particular comments, which I was excited to see too, and it was foundation and roof and plumbing, and those are very, you know what you're talking about then, and that's important too, because you want to make sure when you're getting into a place that it is all up to code. What did you say that one time we saw? It was like two things were running into it.
Yeah, we did look at one house where they had the sub pump.
That's what it was.
And the sub pump has to be drained out into the yard. And this house actually had 2 sub pumps because of all the water issues. And the sub pumps were actually going into the drain, which was going to the sewer system, which is against code. So that's a big no-no. Can't do that.
Gotta make sure that gets fixed.
And that has to get fixed. So we didn't end up buying that house. The owner was thinking about renting it. And at that point, I said, well, there's black mold in your basement, and there is that. You're going to want to get that addressed first. So at least they're taking the right steps to have it all fixed.
Right. And that's the thing is,
if we don't buy it, we could help still.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you think somebody might be interested, just send them our way. We are so laid back about that kind of stuff. We've been able to check out multiple houses and with friends and just know that we're not, mad or anything if something doesn't go through. Because sometimes it just might not work for us either. There's certain deals that they just have to fit what we're looking for.
And the good thing is we do get a lot of leads.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of other ones to look at too. So once again, on that deal, we didn't buy it, but we did help out somebody
Yeah.
who really he's not very savvy with that, but we gave him some things, because he even said, if there's anything that you notice, please let me know, because I don't know anything about
Yeah.
this. So I kind of gave him a couple things to get addressed.
Little checklist.
So when he does, it's just one less thing to worry about. And it's really about helping people, because when you're a real estate investor, I said this on my earlier live, it should be a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the right way to do it. And it really works out well for what we do, and it works out well for our buyers and sellers. So when I did my first deal, everybody was so happy with that deal, and everybody made out. So it really was great.
Yeah. I wish I was around for that.
It was awesome. It really was awesome. My first house, I owned it for half an hour.
Half an hour.
And I never lived in it. So when everybody has bought their first house and it comes with some great story of, I did this or I did that or I painted, decorated, nope.
But you make it sound easy, even though if you go back and watch that video on 585 Rent to Own on the Facebook page, he does get into it a little bit. It was, I mean, I've heard the whole story, and there were how long did it take you to even get a hold of those sellers?
So the first guy, it was the hardest thing to get his information, because there was two sellers. The house is
They're
here
partners?
in Rochester. They're partners.
Business partners?
They're business partners.
Yeah.
One moved to San Diego, one lived in Connecticut. The guy in San Diego, eventually I did get a hold of him, but the partnership went south. It went
Yeah.
bad. And the guy in Connecticut had a repo that was a lien against the house for $17,000. So the whole deal went bad. And the guy in Connecticut, I must have called him every day, multiple times a day, for months.
Yeah.
And what happened is every time you call, it went to, you know what to do, right to a voicemail and right to the thing, and never would call me. And I would leave message after message. And one day, I don't know how, but I got his work phone number. And I call him up and I'm like, I'm paying your stuff off. Just, you gotta pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And then it was a deal, but it's persistence. It's not wanting, it's just not stopping.
Not giving up. And I think that, especially during a time like this where so many people are, I mean, it's unknown, we don't know what's going on, but like whatever it is your job is, just keep going, don't quit. When you hear that story, it makes me want to just keep going.
Yeah, because, there were so many times where you're so disheartening. You've done all this work.
Yeah.
And you've done all this, and you're close to the finish line. And for another reason, here it is, we can't cross that finish line. It does. It starts to drag you down a little bit, but once you do cross that finish line, it makes you all that much more rewarding. And I even talk about how much money I made on that deal. So if you're interested, check it out earlier. It was a lot of money. And
well, that was before the capital gain thing, right?
yeah, well, it was 2000, so it was 20 years ago.
Back in the VHS.
So, yeah, I had to listen to VHS tapes. But I even talk about all that. So, once again, it's about sticking to it. And once you get that check in your hand, it makes it all worth it.
Absolutely. I don't really have a great transition, sorry. I was just thinking about the conversation. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was asking some really great questions, and I just thought it would be good to revisit some of them to kind of bring it back to the buyer side. So if you're somebody watching this who is interested in renting to own, she had a couple of questions about the down payment, where does the money go, am I assuming the mortgage? And that's actually, it is an actual terminology, but it's different. And
Can I answer that one?
Yes. Go ahead. So,
Okay, cool. So, first of all, if you buy a house for, say, $100,000,
yeah, keep it simple.
and you have $10,000 down, yes, that $10,000 goes 100% towards the sale of the house. However, you're going to have closing costs. You're going to have your first year property taxes once you go to the bank, and you're going to get a mortgage, and you go through that process. I've been through it a ton of times. I know all about it.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being the case, if you have $10,000 down, your mortgage won't be for $90,000. It's going to be for more than that. And that's why the bank wants to make sure, with all the numbers they use, you're still in the same, what they call loan to value. Loan to value is what's the value of the house, say it's $100,000, and what's your loan amount? It's under $100,000. They're going to have certain amounts of how far underneath they want, but most of the time, that's why we try to get 10% down when we're doing the rent-to-own process, because with 10% down, that's going to cover most of the time their 3.5% plus first years of taxes and your closing costs all bundled together. So that's why that number is so important for your down payment, because if you only have a few $1,000s down, great, it's a great start, keep going. But it's not quite yet to get a house, because once you have that money and you put that towards a house, what happens if you want to get a new refrigerator or a new stove, or you want to get new furniture, or you want to paint, or you want to decorate? It's all going to cost you money, and you don't want to get into a hole just after buying a house.
And one of the
So
questions-
you want to have some money saved up.
Might be too. What if I have $3,000, but then I can pay an extra $900 every month?
We have somebody doing that right now. It's our down payment assistance program. The thing is, you got to pay it every month through the bank rule. So we can show this to the bank because we have to give them all of these records, and you have to pay it every single month on time. And if you do, they'll count that credit. So what's going to happen is, if you want to pay $100 over a month, $200. We have one family doing almost $800 a month.
Yep.
And it's been just about a year, and wow, did their down payment grow. We just did the grand total.
Yeah, they were just checking in with us, and I got with the accountant, squared away numbers, and we were super excited for them.
It's a big amount. I can't believe how quickly that happened.
It accumulates, and it's going towards your house, like the place where you're living, and you don't have to move again, and it's an awesome feeling.
Well, and the thing is, too, they were, when I spoke with these folks first, they actually came out of an apartment, and they were telling me at their apartment, they couldn't even put decorations because
in the window,
because what was happening was the apartment complex would give them a warning saying you can't put Christmas decorations on there. And the woman was so disheartening. She's like, I just like decorating for the holidays. I don't see that being a big deal. And to be told I can't even do that, she's like, I am done with apartments. I want to have something on my own. Now she's in a condo, so the condo kind of gives her all the benefits of apartment. They're going to do the lawn. They're going to make sure the pool is beautiful, and they're going to take care of the outside of the property. So at that point, she's just responsible for the inside, which it's beautiful. The inside, we just redid a ton of it.
Yeah.
I mean, new kitchen, bathroom, everything's beautiful in that place.
That flooring was so fun.
So with that being the case, once again, we help somebody get into a property where now you could keep it Christmas decorations all year round.
If you really want to do, yeah.
But that has a really beautiful all-enclosed deck, too. So if you actually did want to have those like tea lights or whatever up,
patio lights,
it would look beautiful. So.
I know.
But either way, so that's a big one.
So
the assumable mortgage.
Yeah.
So assumable mortgages are, so our houses, you can't assume those mortgages. So
what does it mean to assume a mortgage, just in case somebody might know?
Okay, so John Smith has a house, and John Smith owes $100,000 on his house, and it's worth just a little more than that. And you want to buy it. You can assume his mortgage by going, maybe his loan was with, say, Bank of America. And you would have to go to Bank of America, see if you can assume that mortgage. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to put you through the mortgage application process. And if you qualify and you pass, then you're going to take that old mortgage over.
Okay.
Where most of the time that doesn't happen. Most of the time what folks will do is just go get a conventional mortgage. Although you can assume a mortgage, but they're going to do a credit check. They're going to look for all the numbers to be correct. And you have to still qualify for that.
So how would you explain? Is if they're not assuming a mortgage from us, they're
qualifying for a new mortgage.
Purchasing the home, qualifying for a new mortgage.
Yep, absolutely. So you're not going to assume any one of our mortgages. That's not how that works, because ours are commercial anyways. So you can't do that. However, with what they're going to do, because it's residential, they're going to go to whatever bank you choose. Now, we work with Canandaigua National Bank a lot, and we give them a lot of plugs, we give them a lot of love, because they are great, and they really are. They are a small-town community bank, and they're here for the people in our area, and they really care. Summit Federal Credit Union, ESL, all great ones, too. So I have a lot of connections to these banks, a lot of friends at these places. I've done business with them for a very long time, and they're all wonderful people who live here, work here. Not knocking these bigger banks like HSBC, or not, they're not even around anymore.
Like,
Bank of America or Chase Bank, they're good too. But I really always love those small town credit unions and banks because they really care about the community and they're part of the community. So Summit, one of my absolute favorites. They've got a great program there. So if any of you guys want to even talk to a loan process, or, an officer, just to see what it's like to get the process started, they'll sit down, they'll meet with you. I know they are busy as can be right now.
Yeah,
interest rates,
getting a hold of them has been a little tricky.
Interest rates are like record low right now.
Right.
So people are refinancing or buying new homes like crazy.
Yeah.
So the market is really hot because of how low the rates are. So we're in a really fortunate time. A lot of folks are out of work. So that's going to make it hard for you to qualify for a mortgage. There's a lot of folks who maybe are working split shifts, things like that with their jobs if they're not back full time. Most are, but some of these places aren't hiring everybody back. So maybe you were used to a certain salary and you can't make that anymore and you're in a different situation now. So there's a lot of things going on out there that are really disrupting, but it looks like we're starting to get a little bit back to normal.
Everybody
can
just
be.
wear your masks.
But either way, we're here to help, and that's what we can do. We can help the buyers, we can help the sellers, and just stick to what we do.
Yeah, it's crazy, the market right now. Honestly, I just can't believe how quickly things are just coming and going. So we're here.
Right.
so we're good. So a couple of other questions we've got about, only 4 minutes left. Do you see anything you wanted to pick or choose?
So can I put in a poll? Good time of year to ask that question. The answer is
us.
with us. The answer is yes and no. No right away while you're renting. While you're in the rent-to-own process, you cannot have a pool.
Not even like one you can buy off of Walmart or Amazon and just put it up.
Like if it's like one of those 6-inch like splash pools,
Like a kiddie pool, like tiny pool, but like if it's going up to like your belly or above, that's definitely a no-no.
Nope,
So
can't do that. Now after you buy the property and you're the owner,
that's through with you in the town, whatever sort of permit you might need there.
But and then after that point you can. So the answer is yes and no. No in the beginning, yes after you own for sure.
Yeah, because the question originally was, what am I allowed to change or fix or remodel as far as when I get into the home? You've given me the keys and I've given you my down payment, the first month's rent. I'm in the house.
Well, yeah, and that's a great one because so you guys have all seen the house on Conrad.
Yep.
The new buyer, great guy. We're actually gonna go there tomorrow. And super excited. And he asked if he could put a fence up. And we're absolutely. So what you can do, there's already partially fenced. You just want to kind of finish it off. So just make sure the town's okay with it. If there's any permits needed, fine. Obviously, he's going to pick it out and pay for it, whatever he wants. But that's the greatest thing about rent to own is once you're in the house, this is your future home. You want to make upgrades. Be our guest. That's what it's for. I always love a heads up. I don't want to say I'm demoing the kitchen when we just put a brand new, $30,000 kitchen to a house and you want to demo it and now it's,
But what if they wanted to? I mean,
what happens if they don't put cabinets back in there?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I don't know why someone would want to ruin their kitchen.
We want a heads up first.
Yeah,
we want to have definite plans. We want to have somebody, if you're doing a major overhaul.
Well, because if you bought a house and we didn't do anything to it, if it was a pretty house, but you definitely saved up money, I mean,
yeah,
totally your call. The ladies who purchased one of the homes and what?
I'm just thinking of a scenario once.
Oh gosh, I don't even think I want to know.
No, go ahead.
What? No, you.
So, I've seen people do some of their own work where they think that I could do a great job.
Oh, okay.
And some people really can, but unless you're a contractor,
Oh.
some of those do-it-yourselfers
Yeah.
are kind of hard. And if you're gonna try to redo your own bathroom, you just want to make sure you got a good team around you. That's all.
We may have had that. Yeah. Okay.
That's all.
Noted. All right, but what I was gonna say was I know that they had a list of things they wanted to change, but for them they just wanted to make sure they had everything squared away, and they waited to make some of those major improvements, like ripping out all the new carpet and everything we put in.
Right.
Which is fine. Change it up.
And that's the thing. We actually noticed one today. The cabinets were all painted.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
It
I
looked
actually
great.
really liked it.
Yeah, they did a great job. And that's why we try to do everything very basic.
Yeah.
The blank cabins for you. So once you do move in, if you want to paint it whatever color you want, do it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
And I love seeing those photos. I like seeing how they make it their own home, and it's cool to see that.
Right. And then another one, daycares. Because a lot of folks are self-employed.
And this breaks my heart because I know it's important, but
you cannot have daycares. And that's not through us, it's through insurance, just like the dog thing. Because there's a pet policy as well, which we'll go over too. We love dogs. I love dogs. I grew up with dogs. The insurance company, through commercial policy, doesn't allow pit bulls, Rottweilers, Dobermans, Nikitas. I think that's it. And it's not because of them biting more or less. It's because when they bite, their pressure, how hard they bite. They actually say Labrador Retriever is the #1 dog, and we have one. So, dogs are dogs. It just is what it is. But it's how hard they bite is what the insurance company has an issue with. So, other than that, dogs, love them. Cats, fine. You want to get a big snake? That's cool. I mean,
I don't want to hear about it or see it. But how about a trampoline?
No. Good time.
Trampoline?
Good question because it's that time of year. It's all just due to insurance.
Insurance. So
Once
once
again-
it's in your own name and you're paying all of
But
that.
the restrictions we have are so few.
Yeah, there's really not a lot.
And so small and minor, and it's just for protection, and that's really what it is. And the town, a lot of times too, these towns don't play sometimes. They see you at the pool, they're gonna come write you a citation
True
for
story.
that.
I saw that in the Greece neighborhood thing. Somebody was, a little upset because they had a little pool and they got a violation ticket. But Gotta abide by the rules, you know.
Well, and he was like, yeah, well, even with the COVID going on right now, well, it's not the Wild West because there's COVID. Yes, even because there's COVID, you'll still get a citation if you have a pool and it's not safe.
Yep.
You know, our dog ran away one night. This is a true story. She's super pregnant for my daughter. And then we're ending on this one because if you want to hear a good story, I just got done working. It's like 9 o'clock at night, probably 9:30, and I'm driving home. I just want to come home and eat and go to bed.
Yeah.
She calls me. I'm like 1 mile from home. She's like, the dog got out, and I don't know where
Pregnancy
she is.
brain. I left the gates open on the deck because we have a beautiful deck with gates that latch.
She left them open because she's making dinner, didn't pay attention. So either way, I'm driving around.
Dog runs away.
I'm looking for the dog. She's home crying, walking the neighborhood pregnant, stomach out to here, waddling around. Can't find the dog anywhere. We reach out to a good friend of ours she's like so passionate about dogs and animals. It's crazy. We reach out. She gives us great advice. We call 911.
That's the best tip. If your pet runs away or you lose an animal, call 911. Give all the details and your number because if somebody finds your dog, that person can now have your number.
It's like 11:30 at night. I have no dinner. I'm upset. She's upset. I'm home. We're just gonna go to bed. I'm exhausted, and the phone rings. And it's 911. Oh, no, it was a lady.
No, it was a lady. She had called 911.
Right, that's right. And so she said she was just heading to bed.
It's actually like a scary story.
And her motion light went on in her backyard. She looked in the backyard, and our dog was in her pool.
She heard the splash, too, I think.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like, they didn't have any sort of, like, alarm or anything, but it was just, like, precise timing. And she was so upset. She's like, had I not seen this, the dog wouldn't have been able to get back out. And so...
But that's why you got to have a gate. You have to have proper things for the towns, and that's why they find you. It's for reasons like that. You wouldn't think that could happen, but that's a true story. It happened to us. Now, she went from crying tears of sorrow to tears of joy because we have a soaking wet dog.
So mad at her.
Who made it like 2 blocks. I don't even know how she got that far.
She's like booked it.
So our dog now is great.
Way.
She will never leave.
Well, she'll never leave.
She'll leave. I love my dog.
Great.
Love her. She's a great girl.
Word. Anybody who knows me knows the truth about Bailey.
She's just mischief. She's a 2-year-old lab. She's still a baby, but big baby. And then our old dog, you open the door, she will just continue to run until she can't run anymore. So completely different, but true story. So that's why
it is important to go with the town and have meet all of their expectations because it's there for safety. It's not to try to be annoying or mean, even though it may seem frustrating at the time. They're there to protect animals and people.
And obviously they've probably had some instances of why they put these precautions in place. For just examples, like a crazy lab who wants to break out at 11.
And it might not be a dog, it could be a child,
right.
You know, so at that point, I don't even know how Sadie got up there, but here we are, 3:30. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Next week, we will be back again, and also check us out on the Gen Buys 585 page. We're going to be going live a little bit more here and there, sharing, you know, the stories that are coming in here. We're going to have Testimonial Tuesdays where we share seller stories with you guys, and that way, if you hear of anybody who's looking to maybe sell their house, you can send them our way.
And we're doing $1,000 referrals.
Yeah.
$1,000 referrals. It's crazy. I said we should do a video of like making it rain, but like inside where it's not windy, so that money don't go flying down the neighborhood.
Yeah, we don't need that.
But like $1,000, if you know somebody who's looking to sell a house, it's not listed with a realtor.
Nope.
It's not in the market, but you know that they've been chatting about it, friend, family, whomever, and you say, "Come talk to my friends Jen and Joe." We get in touch with them. We buy that house because you send them our way. We give you $1,000.
Yeah.
It is that simple.
And you just never know. It could be a divorce. It could be somebody passed away in the family. Now there's an inherited home. Maybe you're a tired landlord. You just don't want to deal with this anymore. I know that's becoming a thing right now with the rent. So, you know.
Or maybe you just bought a house 2 years ago and it's not working out.
Yeah.
And you don't like
That's
it.
true.
We're buying one right now because of that. We have a single mom who bought a house and she was like, I didn't realize what else entailed buying a house. I thought I was just going to make my payment. She's not realizing that she's getting citations from the town for the lawn and the bushes. She's not realizing the furnace went out. She's having all these things where it's unexpected. So when you're a homeowner, that's why I say you got to prepare for these things.
Yeah, that's why our number one tip is, you know, having that homeowner mindset because it is a lot and you got to be ready for it. And if you're not, we're here to help too.
So, and when you have kids and they bang the wall, or you have a dog that does that, or something like that nature, you never know. So, once again, $1,000 referrals. It doesn't get any easier to make that much money than just a few clicks, and just say, hey, come talk to Jen and Joe, and we make it super easy. We really do. we could close quick as less than 30 days.
Yeah.
Our attorney doesn't love that. He would love them to be a little after 30 days. But for certain situations,
Yeah,
he can make it happen. We got a great team with us, so if we need to get it done a little quicker, we can.
Yeah, so keep in touch, everybody, and thanks for tuning in today. We will see you again next week.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.